There we go. Stephen Bowcutt is my guest. We're going to talk everything Casa Linda, some real estate, and maybe we'll even get into a little bit of organic farming. Welcome aboard. Forgo the normal intro. When you've got a star, you respect the time of the star, and you just roll right through it. Stephen, just unmute your mic there. How you feeling, brother? I mean, we've spoken a few times before, so many people have an intro to actually who you are, but how you feeling and what you've been up to lately?
I'm feeling great. Well, just selling and building villas and condos. You know, we're in our connection development there near Encuentro Beach. We're going to start bringing the first condos of that. That'll start coming up in late April, first week of May, and we'll deliver the first tower there. And we've got about 54 villas under construction today that are all sold, and we're building them for the owners.
Nice. Tell me about a little bit
about 480 some odd. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wondered to tell me a little bit more about connections. At what stage are you there as far as selling out goes? I know most of the villas are gone, but what kind of stage are you in as far as the condos go? How many units are in there total?
71 total. There's 30 units still available, 2 and 3 bedroom, starting at $264 for they're big. So per square meter, we're still the lowest price around, and they're nice finishes. I'm extremely confident it's going to be a beautiful project. I was there today and again yesterday with clients.
Nice. Yeah, and I've been showing
all the villas are sold.
Yeah, I've been showing in there quite a bit as well.
In that development.
Yeah. What do you think the time frame is for you to be like dust-free completion, like absolutely, living perfect, like no construction zone left after delivery? I know you're going to start delivering in May. That sounds really soon. When you're driving by, you're like, wow, they got a lot of work to do before May. But if you're going to have one building left already completed, then when do you think it'll be so that everything's complete?
Mid-2025, everything will be completed. All the villas, the villas in that development, are sold out. We have plenty of lots available in Casa Linda, which is our bigger villa-only development. Plenty of condos available, 2 and 3 bedroom, great location, just a few minutes walk to the beach, a few minutes to Kite Beach and Cabarete. And our shuttle bus goes both directions, 1 hour going one way, the next hour going the other, 7 days a week, and that's included in your monthly fees.
How have you been seeing the market this year compared to last year? Most people that I talk to are mostly realtors or quote-unquote agents, and most of them are saying last year was a lot better than this year was. How are you feeling the transactions are coming in this year as compared to last?
Well, this year started out a little bit slow, but I feel the momentum picking. We've got a lot of stuff pending, and I'm just waiting for clients to decide what they want to do and maybe get their financing in place or finances in place. There's a handful of things happening in the next few days, so I think we're going to be just fine. I think everything's going to work out. We'll definitely turn out another good year building community at Casa Linda.
So 400 villas over 30 years, that's what I quote people. Am I accurate with that?
We're about 480 right now.
Oh,
we
really?
delivered 11 last week, and
okay.
And things are coming right along.
All right. And what do you consider your competition to be? I mean, we have a few gated communities here. Some are very different. I know there's some are on the expansion. I have people always coming into town. They're asking me about pre-construction. I said, you better know the builder very well and trust them that they're not going to skip town. I don't have to give that warning for Casa Linda because they've been around for so long. But what do you think? What do you consider your competition to be in gated communities?
Well, I'd say that every little project, and since we were in the bubble during COVID and things were going really well as far as real estate sales, every little project is a competitor and everyone picks away. at what we do. But if you really compare us to everybody else, we have hundreds of activities. A group of homeowners just came off of a Caribbean cruise. They do staycations, shopping trips, golf trips, all kinds of stuff. We have exercise and dance classes, and our shuttle bus goes to beaches, restaurants, bars, grocery store, etc., both directions. When I say both directions, I mean both Sosua and Cabarete.
Right. And I usually tell people, if you're looking to buy and you're going to rent while you're not around, is the basic price still kind of like $100 per bedroom per night? Is that kind of what you're getting in there? Or is that
well, that would be peak season. Average year round is about $85 per bedroom per night, with 2-bedroom minimum, and then we go up to 6 and 7 bedroom if you have a group or multiple villas. A lot of people live in Casa Linda. We have some pretty strong rules about noise for the renters and homeowners for that matter. But we've got a lot of people that love Casa Linda and love the community. And really, we sell a quality build at a fair price with community. So you'll find your group and who you want to hang out with or who you don't want to hang out with, either way. But it's a lot of happy people. Canadians, Americans, people from all over the globe.
And because you've got such great opportunity there for income, it seems like Casa Linda is an easy choice for many people that are saying, well, I want the income when I'm gone. And you've got built-in property managers that are, supported by the complex and the corporation that, it's got a green check mark beside their name because they're tried and true. And I've experienced a few of them. Some of them are, all of them that I've experienced are top notch. I mean, they change light bulbs and fix screens, and sometimes they don't even charge you for that kind of stuff. And although some people look at it and they go 20% for short term or whatever they're charging for the percentage plus the management fee and stuff, and then you combine that with the fees. I want to talk a little bit about your base fees per villa, per bedroom, per villa and whatnot. And, people look at those fees and the outsiders seem to say, well, what do you get for your money? And then the people that are buying in there are like, I don't care. The tenants are paying my fees. I'm not living there 24/7.
Well, even if you're living there, we have free transportation. We have a lot of amenities. We have a water park. We have mini golf, 2 restaurants, soon to be 3. We're going to have a grocery store and a gym and a spa coming. A lot of green space. We have a walking trail that goes through the jungle on the border of our property. It's absolutely beautiful. It's always cooler there. There's a lot that you get for your money, and those that appreciate amenities really understand why. And we have a multi-million-dollar water park that has a children's side and adult side. Kids side is surrounded by a lazy river and then a playground in the pool. And the adult side has a whirlpool. I'll call it a swim against the current, a swim up bar, restaurant, pergolas, covered shaded areas, open sunshine areas. And it'll be fairly similar at Connections as well. So a lot going on. The transportation is part of that monthly fees, and many people use it. Occasionally, some people have their own car and never need it, but it is part of what's going on. So I've sat through the presentation that you gave. You've obviously given that many times. The product inside and out. So maybe you could just start with your 101 pitch for why Casa Linda and why it's a better product than anyone else. It's a gated, I'll call it high-end Caribbean finishings, quartz, marble, or granite. Lots of options, hardwood or MDF cabinets. Our faucets come with 5-year warranties. Our doors are solid hardwood. Lots of choices. So before we start building, you go to our design department. We have a large amount of options within our standard. Well, all these villas, and I'm going to say 480, and I haven't counted on the list lately, but out of all these villas delivered, there's not 2 that are exactly alike. There's you get a lot of choices. So everything from floor tiles to glass color in your windows to glass frame color to tiles, backsplash, cabinet faces, configuration on cabinets. About a two hour process. If you're decisive, can be much longer if you're not. We have design people in our design department that'll walk you through it. And Janine, she's a sweetheart. I've seen her say, well, you might want to rethink that if she sees something that just doesn't combine well. But she's real gentle and kind and has done hundreds of villas. And then if you choose, and this is a ritzy word back home, but here it's really not, it can actually save you money. You can hire an interior designer and they can walk through what you want and the styles that you want. And they know where to shop, who to shop, if something comes damaged, what to do to get it repaired, to receive it or not receive it, to replace it or get it repaired. Actually, quite a few interior designers to choose from. Some of them are no charge because they work for manufacturers and distributors, and some of them are freelance and just gather everything up and will show you every receipt and charge you whatever it is they charge you.
Nice. What's your status on phase 12? I mean, it seemed like just yesterday you just opened it, and there was such a big excitement around it because you had a great waiting list, and you had people that were disappointed that they didn't get in quick enough for 11, and then 12. Is it come and gone, or is it still available?
No, there's still some lots available in there. I have 2 premium lots still available, which require a 2-floor villa. Bigger, higher end, larger square footage or square meterage villa, 2nd floor premium ocean view. I've got 2 of those still available and plenty of lots of all sizes still available. So you can get in on that. And we'll actually be delivering, I believe next week we'll deliver our first villa in phase 12. It's a beautiful 2-bedroom, 2.5. See the floor plans, see photos, see all the details about it. This lady, I think, is going to be very happy. I was in it just a couple of days ago, and it's looking great. She made some beautiful choices on her finishes, great combinations, and the builder's pretty proud of his work.
Take us through the process again, going back to 101. Somebody comes in, they sit with you, they get a full tour of the property and the amenities, and they look at different type of I know you've got some foam type of concrete, insulated foam that you're working with now, and they sit through a half an hour, 45-minute presentation. You're talking about all the quality controls and the steps all the way along. So take us through the steps from signing, the deposits, delivery, and different payment dates and stuff like that, just so people know exactly what they're up against.
Well, I'll call it the buying process. Yes, we'll give you a presentation. We'll show you villas based on availability. Like right now, if somebody comes in tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'll be able to show. We're booked. The place is full. And it's still quiet and nice. And even on holidays and whatnot, you'll drive around and go, it's full. Well, people are in their villas enjoying their private space and their pools and their outdoor barbecues and covered terraces, etc. But back to that buying process. First, you'd choose a villa. Then you'd choose a lot that would accommodate that villa. Then we'd go through a lot reservation document, which requires driver's license and passport and a little bit of information. And then at that point, you would go home and send your $25,000, which pulls the market off the lot. We'll hold it for a few days while we're waiting for you to get settled back in at home after your vacation or your visit. And then you'd wire transfer 25,000 US. We'd confirm receipt of that. And then we'd move towards the contract of sale, getting the monies right to start your construction, assigning the appropriate builder for the villa. Of course, before we start construction, you would choose all of your finishes and all that. And if you wanted to make changes before we went there, you would request these changes. We have in-house architect and engineering. If it's room sizes or bigger covered terrace or a smaller pool or a bigger pool or bigger landscape. All these things can be addressed. And then we move into, excuse me, sorry about that, move the screen. Then we move into the documents that show the villa with all your changes. Then you sign off on all that. And once that's complete, then we move into the final quote. If there's any changes or you bought bigger land than the villa comes with or anything at all, the final quote, then you sign off on that. And then at that point, you send 35% minus the deposit that would have already been received of $25,000. And that's when we assign a builder and get ready to break ground and get the process flowing. Now, the last 11 villas that we delivered just in the last few days were 5-month build time. We're back to pre-COVID. You know, everybody had troubles during COVID getting materials. We're on an island here. It's a big island, but we're still on an island. We had some labor force issues during COVID. We had material supply chain issues, and we did the best we could and got ourselves through it. And now we're back to delivering on time, if not faster, because our contracts say 7 months build time. I actually discussed that today with upper management. Are we going to be changing that down to 5 months? And so probably Monday we'll work through some of these things that are on the contracts and either maintain them or change them. That's a little above my area, and so that comes from the developers themselves and the construction department, etc. Sorry about that.
Oh, good, man. I appreciate your time. How did you land here? What were some of the reasons that you chose Dominican Republic? You've been here a long time, but if you can talk about, a little bit about where you came from and why you made the decision of Sosua, and then maybe how you landed at Casa Linda.
Well, Cabarete is really my town. We came here for the kite surfing and windsurfing and water sports. I've been here this year 19 years. We got here with 8 and 10-year-old kids, and they're now adults, both college grads. Really proud of both of them. Girls. Never felt safer in the U.S. than we did here. I'm an American. This place is safe. There's very little violent crime. We're kind of out in the country here. Cabarete and Sosua are smaller towns. Like anywhere, you get into the big cities, and sure, there's more issues. But like anywhere, you should always be conscientious and, don't flash, don't like you would in any city. We find it very safe here. As I said, raised 2 girls. They were happy and healthy and got a great education here. Originally started at the international school. I think we did 5 years there. And then both ended up graduating from an online international baccalaureate program. And both got into top universities. And one moved back after going to the U.S. for a period of time, prefers the lifestyle here. And the other one's on the West Coast of the United States and doing great.
Awesome.
Ended up here just by chance and ended up, 39 years this year, married a beautiful Dominican woman, and we'll celebrate 39 years this year.
Wow. Congratulations, man. That's
Right.
awesome. Speaking about your family life, how's things on the farm? I really enjoyed the tour when Clayton and I came out there. I think we brought a client with us and got the full tour, and you're still kind of in transition. You were starving for rain. And now I remember texting you a few months ago going, how's that farm looking now? Because we got like weeks and weeks of rain. It was like it makes up for it in the dry season when the heavy season comes. So how's things on the farm?
Things on the farm are great. We're on Finca Soul _RD on Instagram. Maybe I can throw that in there.
Yeah, that's good. No problem.
Great little organic fruit and vegetable farm using permaculture principles, and centropic food forest is where we're headed with the fruit trees. We've got thousands of fruit trees and well over 100 varieties of fruit. And we're getting onesie twosies because most of them are in the ground just over 2 years. In 2 years, we have trees that are over 18 feet tall, our biggest trees. So that goes to show you the Caribbean, things grow like a weed. But we've got quite a few vegetables going. And actually, just before this, I'd just come home from the office, and I'm really close to Casa Linda, just minutes away. Walked around and picked some veggies and had a little snack before we started. And it was wonderful. But yeah, we'll have a farm store eventually to service all the villas that are in this area with organic fruit and vegetables. So we're pretty excited. And, I love meeting people and talking to new buyers that are thinking about doing the same thing we did almost 19 years ago. And we've got a little knowledge, speak the language pretty fluently, not perfectly, but pretty fluently. And so can communicate with just about anybody, locals and foreigners alike. And yeah, the farm's going great, and we're really happy about how it's going.
Awesome. What do you have any non-native fruits there? I remember you were telling. Did you have a strawberry tree? Did you say you had a strawberry tree? What else have you got there that's not native to DR?
We have total of approximately 143 fruits, and I'm going to say probably 18 or 20 of them, maybe a little more, a little less, have never been seen on this island. But yes, we have strawberry trees. We have grape trees. That grape tree comes from Brazil, and it's called jaboticaba. And I can't wait. They say 5 to 7 years to fruit, but we're giving them everything they like, and we're getting onesie twosies off a lot. We have mulberries that we've been eating, some small mulberries off small trees, and we had jackfruit that got about the size of your fist and then fell off, we probably should have taken them off just to fortify the fruit tree. But I was so excited to see them, I just couldn't get myself to strip them from the tree. We have what they call pepinillo, which is a tree cucumber, and I ate one this morning. It tastes more like a citrus to me, but it looks like a little gherky or small cucumber. Gherkin, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And ate one this morning, couple sitting on the counter, lots of tomatoes, large variety of tomatoes. I just had peppermint and mint and threw a chive in there, looking for some micronutrients, I guess. Yeah. We have stevia growing on the farm, so that's a plant that is a sugar substitute. We have sugar cane. I mean, the list is long, and we're super excited to have full canopy on this farm. And food foresting is like 9 layers of food. So in the soil, on the soil, vines, small, medium, and large herbaceous plants, and then small, medium, and large fruit trees, and then an overstory. So approximately 9 layers of either food or beneficial trees. So kind of exciting, actually.
Yeah, it's a cool spot, man. I can't wait till you got Airbnb going on over there. I'll be sending some clients over there for sure.
Well, we've kind of changed our project just a little bit. We have one little guest house that we built, little A-frame. We're not going to go heavy into Airbnb. We're starting a commercial mushroom production.
Oh.
That's really close. That'll be outdoor on logs. And we've got kind of a mad scientist helping us with that. Right. So we're kind of excited to get that going. And then the farm store. And of course, we're selling through some vegetables, and we'll do a CSA, which is community supported agriculture. So you get a box of fruit and vegetables with some recipes and description of things you might not. I mean, everybody knows what a tomato is, but a jackfruit is another story, right?
Yeah, sure.
What the heck is that? Yeah. And actually, it's, as I understand it, it's where the original flavor of juicy fruit gum came from.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So well, that makes me want to try jackfruit. I love the juicy fruit.
Right. So a lot going on, but I guess you get me going. It's hard for me to stop talking about that project, but also I enjoy speaking about Casa Linda and connections, villas and condos.
Awesome. Just on the way out, before I get you to wrap up and give us, I want you to debunk a few common wives' tales about the DR. But before we do, give me that Instagram address one more time. Spell it out for me so people know where to find you for the farm.
Oh, for the farm, sure. It's Finca Sol, Fincasol. The SOL is for Seed of Life, and then underscore RD for Republica Dominicana.
All right.
And there's a lot of beautiful pictures. One of our daughters has a degree in social media marketing, natural light photography, and graphic art, I believe is the title. And
Wow.
she manages that page and does a great job at it. We just added some new photos, and they're really, really pretty, nice stuff.
Wow, I got some business for her. She's a contractor. Just on the way out, Stephen, thank you so much for your time. You're just a wealth of information, and maybe if you could help me debunk some of the biggest DR myths. When I came down here, I was really worried. My sliding door never locked. I was, worried when I was going to bed. I live in Teresa Tropimar. I mean, we have a security guard at the gate. Nobody gets through unless you live here, type of thing. Now, I mean, I leave my door open all the time. I mean, I don't go far. If I go away for the weekend or whatever, I lock my doors, obviously. But, just tell me about. But when I came down here, I was worried. And, I'm 6'4", 200 and some odd pounds. Not too many people mess with me when I walk the streets at night. But I was really worried, kind of looking over my shoulder for the longest time. And for the first few weeks that I was down here, I was in, vacation mode. It was high season. I was meeting a bunch of new friends. And every time I walked by George's Oasis Bar, I'd go in for one and end up there till 2 a.m. and then, walk home. But, I was really worried about my safety when I came down here. And it turned out to be nothing but a myth. There's a certain amount of small crime of opportunity type of thing. If you leave your doors unlocked or you're bringing strays home, that's what, like I told, I'm doing some property management. I just checked in some guests today from Airbnb. And then I said, where's the safe? Well, it's right here. But I mean, you really don't need a safe here unless you're putting the stuff in the safe to protect it from the people that you're bringing back. Nobody's breaking into your house here. I'm going to steal anything. But if you bring some strays home, you might have some problems. So just some of the myths that since you've been here so long that you've come to know are just myths.
Well, first of all, I want to get back to that you walking the streets at night. What's that all about?
Well, you know what? When I first got down here, I was at Moshe's Reggae Bar. That's where I was hanging out. I was at Moshe's all the time. And then when I figured out that I was paying way more for my rum and cokes at Moshe's, I would just stay at George's. So now I just walk 250 meters down the hill. I'm at George's, and it's off the beaten path. You don't have to deal with the nightlife and the karaoke and the drunkenness, and it's just mostly expats that go in there. But yeah, when I first got to town, there was many nights when I'd be downtown, and then I'd be walking home, and sometimes I'd be walking home after the bars closed, and nobody ever gave me a hassle ever. So.
Well, let me say this. Been here 19 years this year. Nothing worth reporting. I've always felt safer here than we did in the United States. And as a father of 2 daughters and a wife, you kind of feel like it is your job to make sure they're safe and protect them. And this place is great. I mean, if you're in the wrong spot, like anywhere, maybe something could happen, but we know a lot of people, and everybody says the same thing. It's super safe. Just be smart. Like you mentioned, crime of opportunity. You leave your cell phone, get up and go to the bathroom. Maybe you come back and it's not there, or maybe the waiter grabs it or keeps an eye on it and says, "Hey, I saw you left your phone. Here it is." I've had friends tell me about that same incident where they say, "Oh, I forgot my phone," and go running back, and the waiter goes, "No, I had an eye on it."
Yeah,
no
it's surprising.
Waiter or waitress.
Surprising how many stories you hear like that. And I just heard a friend of mine tell a story that one of our mutual friends who's, she's a drinker, and she was maybe had a little bit too much the one night and stumbled home. And on the way home, a chica beat her for her phone. Not beat her literally, but, got enough control over her to get her phone. And she was mortified, I don't know if you've lost a phone recently, but it's like your life is over. If you don't have a backup with your contacts and everything in it, and you don't have, another, and forget the cost. So anyway, she was in the bar the next day, probably medicating from the trauma, and somebody came up from behind her and covered her eyes and put her phone down in front of her. It was one of the moto guys that saw it go down, followed the girl back to her house and told her, "Listen, Well, the way the moto guy tells the story was, listen, you're going to give me that phone back right now, because if you don't, this woman is going to you. And she gave it up, and the guy returned it, and she gave him 1,000 pesos. I'm like, 1,000 pesos? It's like $20. It's worth
and
10
he was
times
happy
that.
with it, I'll bet.
Probably.
Right. No, life is good here. We're super happy. I think it's safe to say this. I think we lived in Fort Lauderdale before we moved here. Now, it has been a long time, but I hear this kind of thing all the time. Life is about 30% more economical, of course, depending upon how you live and what you do, but we live nice. We have a wonderful lifestyle and wonderful life here. About 30% more economical, but maybe 50 to 100% higher quality of life here. We eat better quality food, and there's every kind of restaurant you can imagine, some little holes in the walls, some great. Oh, there's a spot at the food truck park there at Encuentro that I enjoy that has great ceviche, and right next door is Antonio's BC Pizza, and there's shawarmas, and there's steaks, and there's tacos, and there's pasta, and it's all good.
Sushi's delicious there too.
And the place is really clean and nice, and it's packed sometimes.
Yeah. And then they got a saxophone guy playing on the stage once in a while on Thursday nights or something like that too.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Young man that we know that our kids went to school with plays guitar there sometimes, Vaughn, and it's great. We love it here. I don't foresee leaving here. Building a 15-year project, probably never ending, but I'm saying 15 years, and it's fun. We love it. And I some days I wish I could spend more time on the farm, but I enjoy the job. I enjoy meeting people from all over. It's a no BS job. These are big investments. It's not something you can pressure people into doing, and that's not how I work anyway, but lay out all the facts, assist them in every way, answer all their questions, make it as easy as possible. And it's a pretty seamless operation when all things are equal, when there's no COVID, when the supply chain's back. It's just so much easier now than it was the last couple of years as far as making everything happen relatively fluid. Got a lot. I just did an interview with a villa owner the other day. It'll be on our YouTube channel, and there's 100 or more videos on the YouTube channel. This gentleman bought a beautiful little 2-bedroom. I say little, really not that small, 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And he's from Toronto, and he and his wife were so happy. Everything just went smoothly. And I was happy for him. I'm always happy when we deliver a villa and see the big smiles. And some people will tell you, we worked our whole life for this. We're close to retirement, or we just retired, and we're excited about it. And that's just such a great feeling when you can deliver somebody's dream.
Yeah, there's a lot
I really enjoy.
Yeah, I echo that sentiment exactly. After 30 plus years in real estate back home, you get compensated with a commission check. And, I wasn't really good at staying in touch with people afterwards and stuff like that. But very few clients gave me much excitement. It was just a business transaction. For me, it's a job. And, you do a good job for people. You expect them to be happy. But once in a while, you get someone that goes, Jimmy, I don't know what I would have done without you. And I had a friend, a referral from back home in Niagara Falls, and she was very skittish. It took her months and months to call me. And our mutual friend just said, call Jimmy, call Jimmy, call Jimmy. And she was really skittish because she doesn't like new people, right? And she put an offer in from Niagara. She flew down here the next week on a Monday. We went to look at the building. I took her home the next day. She stayed one night, flew back the next day. Just like you said, I acted as the power of attorney, so we did all that paperwork while she was here with Guido Perdomo. And on the way back to the airport, I was driving her back to the airport, and I said, you've been smiling an awful lot since you've been here. She said, Jim, my face this morning was sore when I woke up. Like when I showed her the place, she was walking through it and going, oh, this is exactly. And you look at things on video and you get excited. And then when you get there, you're like, it doesn't face this way. It's not exactly, the feng shui isn't right or whatever. She was so pleased, and I'm like, you know what? Thank you. She's no, thank you. I said, no, you don't understand. After so many years, and especially being here in survival mode to a certain extent for a couple of years now, to get that gratification. I know it's kind of selfish that you don't get it all the time, but I mean, it's all about other people. And when you can deliver on something like that, and they can't wipe the smile off their face, it's gratifying, to say the least.
Absolutely is, and I've been involved in many sales for Casa Linda and connections, and it's wonderful. I showed a couple their new condo, and it's coming close to completion. They're in building 8, which will be the first one delivered, and they were so happy. They were giddy, and it made me happy and kind of giddy as well. They were jumping around and like kids, and that's what he said. He said, oh, and they were a younger couple. And they said, we've been working so hard to realize this dream earlier in our lives, not waiting for retirement. And it just made me feel great. And I really enjoyed showing them and talking to them. And I am always happy to answer questions. I've been here a long time. As I mentioned earlier, I speak the language. I've done a lot of things here and have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. Don't know everything. If I don't know the answer, I won't try to make it up, but I will find it for you from someone that does know the answer, and then shoot you a WhatsApp message or an email and get you the information you need to make an educated decision. We looked all over the Caribbean before we settled here. Now, that being said, my wife was originally from here, but she wasn't positive she wanted to come back, and I talked her into it. Once we saw Cabarete, she said, I could live here. I could live here.
Nice. Where was she from?
Well, she's from, raised in the capital, Santo Domingo.
Santo Domingo, yeah.
And I had met her there many years ago, and we ended up getting married and having kids in the States, and then building a good business there, and then deciding that we wanted out. Wanted out of the matrix, and boy, we did. And this place is wonderful for that. And
yeah,
there's all kinds of challenges here, just like there are back home. They're just a different set of challenges.
Right.
So come down with an open mind, check out what you can do and how you can live, and don't think staying in an all-inclusive is what life is about, because it is not.
Yeah.
And if you're bored here, it's your own fault. There's a lot of activities and a lot of things to do. Water sports galore, land sports galore, activities, pastimes, hobbies. You look around, you'll find, I saw a lady that was putting together a quilting class the other day, and I had to chuckle because my mother was a quilter. And to me, it was always kind of boring, but it's shocking how many people enjoy that and want that to be in their daily or weekly routine. There's golf. I'm going to say 25 minutes or thereabout to the nearest golf course. There's snorkeling, every kind of water sport you can imagine. This is the outdoor sports mecca of the Caribbean. And one last thing, I know we said we were winding down. Because the Dominican Republic has such a high GDP, what that really means is lots of manufacturing, a lot of product made on island, which in turn means lower costs. You cannot buy a more economical quality product anywhere in the Caribbean than you can here. Also, you don't want for anything here. I mean, we have many North American franchises, European franchises, etc. So if you want a Bose stereo, there's a Bose store in Santo Domingo. If you want a Jennifer's furniture, which it might be Jennifer's couches or something like that, which is high quality, there's a franchise in Santo Domingo. If you want Pizza Hut, it's there. Burger King or McDonald's. We have IKEA, which some things you can buy that are wonderful, and some things might be a little less quality than you want. But, price comparison, you can get high-end furniture, economical furniture. You can get any kind of food you want, imported steaks, local steaks. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, that's all very doable because, fruit and veggies grow very easily here. So, and I say easily, farming is not easy. Okay.
Man, I got some bananas today. They were this long, man. I'm always looking for. I freeze them anyways. I let them brown up a little bit, and then I freeze them for my power drink. But they're massive, and I don't know. I mean, how much fertilizer they're using on them, but I mean, this is where they actually come from, and how early do they have to pick them to get them back home before they rot? You know what I mean? Like,
well, bananas here are picked green, and then they're chemically induced to stay green, and then when they get to the U.S., they're chemically induced to ripen.
no
and
shit.
then put them out. Yeah, and I believe
Wow.
that's true with all non-organic bananas. Now, if
Okay.
they're organic certified in the U.S., that they have to follow a chain back to their location of origin, etc.
Oh, okay.
Now, in the U.S., you'll find Hass avocados are the big ones, and everybody likes avocados, right? I mean, they're not large size, but that's what all the stores have. They're small. They have kind of a hard shell on them, and they're uniform size. Here, there's so many different kinds of avocados. Some of them are buttery, some of them are creamy, all different shapes and sizes. Some of them have kind of papery, thin skin on them, and I mean, just all this kind of stuff is really different and nice here. I love that about being here.
Yeah. Just on the, I know I said that 20 minutes ago, and just on the way out, but we talked about some of the crime and safety myth. The other one is I'm still getting this, and I suppose I'll always get it. A client called me the other day, and he says, you know what, I'm just really wary about the hurricanes. I'm like, bro, we're on the North Coast. Like, we get weather, but we don't get anything that's knocking your buildings down or demolishing cities.
One, we don't build North American stick homes. These are monolithic concrete block and steel structures. Two, we're protected by the highest peak in the Caribbean. And NOAA, I believe it's North American Atmospheric and Oceanic Association, has been tracking for about 112 years. Never a hurricane here in Saussure, Cabarete. Now, that's not talking about the whole island. That's just this area. We're in kind of a honey hole here. That's part of the reason we chose here as well. That there's the structures are different. Nothing burns down if you're in a concrete block and steel structure.
Right.
The fire departments are, I'm going to say bored. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but relatively bored. Mm-hmm. We have 24/7 power. We have water. Every villa comes with a 5,000 gallon underground water storage that has a float, so it's auto fill, a submersible pump, a pressure tank. That means you have the same pressure at every faucet. You can filter that and soften it because the whole island is limestone or coral stone, some people call it. So it's hard water. You can drink it here on the North Coast, but it's hard. It's a little hard for your systems to filter out that hardness. So you can get a softener and a filter, and many people drink that. Some people drink bottled water, etc. Fruit juices galore. You want to be a little careful with that because of the sugar content. Mm-hmm. Fructose content, but there's just so many benefits to living here. It's a healthier lifestyle and a great retirement. Some people are here for a couple of weeks a year and buy the villa as an investment and can make a nice return. We have high occupancy rates annually and have had for years. They actually went up a little bit during COVID and have stayed up. Some people live here. Some people come and go as they please. You own it. You do as you please with it. If you want to rent it 1 month a year, you do that. If you want to rent it 6 months a year, you do that. If you don't want to rent it at all, you say that and do that. So a lot going on. Check us out online at buyincasalinda.com. But I'll ask this one thing. Communicate with Jim or myself so that it doesn't get directed to another department. We put this effort in. We'd appreciate the contact. Right, Jim?
Yeah, I was just going to say, well, you're still giving out your cell phone number? Or
Sure. WhatsApp is the best way to communicate
definitely
with me. It's 809-545-6444. Shoot me a message on WhatsApp when I'm not with clients or been over picking tomatoes or something like that. I get right back to you. And just say you saw me on this show, and we'll go from there. Happy to answer any questions of any kind at any time.
You know, if I don't hear back from you in 20 minutes, I think something's wrong because you're so good
I'm
at getting
pretty good
back
at
to me.
responding. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people say that because, you know, as a sales manager, you want to strike while the iron's hot. Somebody's interested, you want to give them the information right away. And I've always run, this is not my business, but I've always run my businesses that way. And I think it's important to maintain that.
Well, you act like it's your business when you meet with you. You seem like you've been there forever, so I always appreciate your guidance. And the other thing I like about you is you're straight with me, right? You know, it's like no, or you know, and I got a lot of time for a guy, and I'm similar that way. You know, this idea that I'll just fake it and pretend I know what I'm talking about. No, it's like I don't know. Can I get back to you on that? Like, I don't need to have all the answers for everything. I mean, when you're showing somebody else's house and you're showing 20 of them to clients, you can't possibly know everything about everything. But yeah, we don't have a lot of time for the guys that are like, stop talking. We know you're just bullshitting now. Stop it.
Right.
I never get that
Right.
feel
Well,
from you.
we work with outside agents like yourself, and we also have an internal sales department. And, you know, we try to make sure everybody gives a straight scoop. And when they're with us, that's easy to do. But we know who the good agents are, and we know who the straight shooters are. And we work with them much better than we do with the outliers, the ones that won't say anything to make a sale. And, you know, we make it very clear, if you want to work with us, you got to tell all the straight scoop. And most everything's on our website. Mm-hmm. You can go there and it'll ask you to register. But again, give Jim or myself a call and we'll go direct.
I'm going to put the fees in the comments section as well. I've got them on other listings, but maybe I'll touch base with you offline and make sure that I've got the updated fee list for the HOA fees.
Hasn't been a change in quite a while. Sorry,
Okay.
Jim, didn't mean
go
to
ahead.
step on you.
No.
Hasn't been a change in quite a while, but yeah, let's touch bases, make sure you have what you need.
All right, brother. Appreciate the time. Give my best to the family, and I hope to see you out at the farm soon. I hope to see you in the sales center soon.
Okay, yeah, me too. Take
Then
care,
afterwards
Jim.
at the
Thanks for your
farm.
time.
All right. Thanks, Stephen. Ciao.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's how you do that. Stephen Bowcutt, great source of information. He's the sales manager at Casa Linda. I'm even pronouncing it differently now. It's Casa Linda, not Casa Linda. What's that beautiful house, Stephen? I see you're still there.
That is correct. Pretty
Yeah.
house,
Pretty
beautiful
house.
house.
Yeah.
You are correct.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Thank you very much for your time. The links will be in the show description below. Some of them are there already in the comments section or in the show description. I'll edit it up a little bit, or maybe I'm on the re-upload. Man, did I get some sun today? I'm going to turn this light down. I'm all shiny up in here. My number, if you want to get a hold of me, buyingdominicanrepublic@gmail.com, or WhatsApp is really easy, but if you want to text or call direct, it's 1-809-330-8926. That's 1-809-330-8926. Peace, love, hug your neighbor, and maybe you should liquidate a little bit of your equity, take a trip down to the DR, and look at some investment opportunities. You won't be sorry. I love you. I'm out.